All right. So,
Okay, we good?
yes, we are good to go.
Okay, cool. Well, guys, welcome to IC meeting number 2. Good to have everybody back in the same Zoom once again. So, yeah, we can go ahead and get started. Laura?
All right. So, like always, we're going to start off with the mission statement. This time, we are not muting you. We can all say it together, which is really exciting. So,
Yes,
a
sir.
1 and a 1 and a 1, 2, 3.
Transition camps exist to successfully transition new students into the Aggie family.
That was really beautiful.
Amazing.
Guys.
I
Great.
stuttered.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
All right. Now, unfortunately, I am going to mute you just for like background noise purposes. Emily and Robbie, I'm going to try to leave you unmuted if I can do that. Let me see. You all. Let me see if I can do that. Okay, if you can mute yourselves, that would actually be.
Yeah, I was about to say, why don't we just mute
It's not
ourselves?
letting me mute. I'm sorry. Perfect. All right. Thank y'all so much. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and move on.
Okay, so starting this week, we will be writing skits. So they're not due for almost 2 weeks. They're due Saturday, April 11th. But these are your 4 skit groups. We haven't really explained to y'all really like what the skits will look like, but you will be provided with a template, so you can kind of see like how they're structured. If I'm sure a lot of like we have at least one experienced counselor in each group that will be able to like provide guidance and advice and stuff. But also I'm sure as many of y'all have been to camp as campers, even among you who haven't been counselors before. So you at least kind of know how it works. But these are your skit groups. We'll have another round of skits too. So we'll end up with 8 skits total. But as of right now, we're just focusing on these 4 categories, and those are your groups. And writing skits is pretty fun. Obviously, it'll be through Zoom, so y'all kind of know how that works now. But just try to kind of like with Lunch Buddies, you'll try to figure out a time where you can just hopefully all y'all, or at least most of y'all, be able to be there together. And our Lunch Buddies this week, which we'll show in a second, will be the same skit groups, just with like the teamers with me, Laura, Emily, Grayson, and Jen added. So lunch groups will be pretty big this week. It'll be 4 groups of 7. It'll just be two people added onto each of those groups, which we'll show later. But yeah, those are your skit groups.
So when it comes to writing skits, we have some tips for you. Kind of things I'm sure the experience in your groups can also provide you with information on how to write skits. You'll be doing it together, obviously, so don't feel overwhelmed. We are providing you with a blank template in the drive, so it kind of outlines what information you kind of need and how you want it organized so that it's easy to read through when we're kind of editing them and making sure we have all the information we want in them. So that template is provided. I recommend copying and pasting it into a Google Doc and then sharing it with your group, or even just keeping that copy in the drive and y'all editing that copy from there. It's kind of easy to do it that way. Usually with skits, you choose like a theme or like a pop culture reference to go off of. So like in the past, we've had like Avengers themed skits. And what's really cool about these informational skits is they also include facts and information about your topic. So this week we had like bus routes, the wreck, I believe, is one of them. So you're just going to include information about your topic in that skit in kind of like a fun and creative way. I recommend going to the websites that TAMU provides and just finding like facts that you would want to know as a camper, like what is the Rex hours, what bus route takes you to West Campus, just that kind of information that you would want to know as a camper. You want to make sure that you include those in your skits. We're looking for the skits to be around 5 to 6 minutes right now. Don't worry, this is like kind of the rough draft phase of writing skits, so we can always kind of come back and edit them in the future. But we really want to shoot for that 5 to 6 minute in length duration. So when you're writing them, kind of read through them, think about how the movement on the stage might add time and those kinds of things. And think about the props you might want to incorporate into your skit, scene transitions, how you want characters walking in and off the stage, And dialogue is a big one. I feel like with skits sometimes we don't really think about it and we give a lot of lines to one particular character. But please keep in mind that you will have to like memorize these. So you want to make sure you're kind of dividing that dialogue up amongst the characters. So no one is like having to memorize like paragraphs worth of information or anything like that. But oh yeah. Drum roll, please. Drum roll. Yeah, okay,
Well,
here we
I can't
go.
hear y'all.
Bam.
So these are our themes. These are our final 3 themes that y'all voted on and we decided on. So you got Alice in Wolverton, as in Alice in Wonderland. You got Wizards of Wolverton Place, as in Wizards of Waverly Place, and Perks of Being a Wolverton, as in Perks of Being a Wallflower. So, yeah, these are our 3 themes, and now Laura will talk about what we're going to be doing with these moving forward.
Perfect. So those are our 3 themes. Now we need a theme for our AC banner, a theme for our IC banner, and then our continuity. We have not decided which of those themes will go with each of those. We'll vote on those together next week, but kind of the next step of this process is figuring out what we want those banners to look like now that we have the themes. So we need at least 1 banner design for each theme. So Perks of Being a Wallflower needs one, Wizards of Wolverton Place needs one, and then also our Alice in Wolverton needs a banner idea. These ideas are going to be due on Saturday, April 4th. So that Saturday is the one coming up, and they need to be in that theme doc by 11:59 p.m. So in ATC, we use a lot of like kind of slang terminology, I feel like, and sometimes it gets confusing. So let me kind of break this down. An AC banner is one that's going to hang in the AC room for all camps and campers to see. So this is going to be hung up during session 1 and session 2 of camp. So everyone is going to want to see this banner, and it's going to like look really cool and really nice hanging up there. The IC banner is the banner that's going to hang in our camp room. So our campers and just kind of Camp Wolverton will get to see it, which is really cool. And then the last banner is our continuity banner. And this will also hang in our IC room, which stands for individual camp room. And that's just going to have all of our continuity dates on it for the campers to like look at. So some tips for designing banners. When you're kind of designing this on Paint or Photoshop or whatever you want to use to like design these ideas, think about realistically what you can paint. I know it's kind of like awesome to like give all this detail on like Photoshop and stuff, but when it gets down to the actual painting, details can be kind of hard. So think about what would look great on a poster, but that you could realistically paint. And then when you're putting these ideas into the doc, like you can just use Paint and like kind of edit a picture and make it look like something you would want. So like try to incorporate like our color aqua into it somehow with those themes. Yes. If you have any questions on that, please let us know. The experienced have obviously done this before. They kind of know what they look like, so feel free to reach out to them as well. But
here are a couple of examples of some that were done in the past. Like this one on the left, you can see like it's pretty complex. That's probably like about as complex as you can do it to where you can still like realistically actually paint it. Like all the like the shading and stuff. That's kind of stuff you have to pay attention to. Like if there's like a whole bunch of people there or just like really difficult shading, like that's going to be kind of hard for us to do. But we will like you'll have like a projector set up where we'll have banner tracing before we paint it, so you don't have to just like freehand all that or anything. And then the one on the right is an example of a continuity banner where you see like the dates for the continuity events. So like Laura said, we'll have like 2 that look kind of like the one on the left, one for the AC room, one for the IC room, and then one like the one on the right where it'll have all the dates written on there. And something to keep in mind whenever you're working together to get these designs done is it might be a good idea to have like you can make multiple designs for each one and then kind of decide we can like vote or whatever and figure out which ones we like best. So we could, if you want to just have like one person make the one of these and then everybody likes it, like that's cool. But also if you want to have like multiple options to choose from, that works too. But just make sure you kind of talk among yourselves to like make sure somebody's actually doing it. Because I remember like one of my past camps, like we just kind of assumed like someone else was going to do it, but then you get down to the date and you're like, oh crap, nobody's actually done it. So just make sure somebody does it. And again, you can have multiple people design multiple ones, so you have options. But yes, this will be due. What was the date, Laura?
Saturday, April 4th.
Yeah, so that's coming up pretty soon.
So this, I feel like I just want to reiterate, this is just like the design of it. We're actually going to paint it later on in the summer. So like, don't worry about like that kind of stuff for now. This is just the design phase of it. But yeah. Fundraising. Woo. Okay, so this is kind of just to give you information on what we're doing on kind of our end of this. We usually have, at this point, we usually send out patron letters, and like you send them out to your family, friends, and your family, like just telling them what you're doing in ATC and just kind of asking them kindly to send in money to help provide camper scholarships. So this year, with it being a little different, Robbie and I are kind of getting creative with how we want to do some fundraising. So we're looking into starting a Yankee Candle fundraiser. We emailed them a few days ago, actually, and we're waiting to hear back on kind of moving forward with that. We're also looking at perhaps designing stickers and selling those, like the ones that go on your laptop and stuff. So if you're like really into design and you're like, yes, I want to design a sticker, hit us up. We would love it. And then also, if y'all have any other ideas for fundraising, we are all ears at this point. Because the more money we raise, ultimately, that just goes to the campers. We can provide more scholarships and those kinds of things. Especially this year, I think that'd be a really great thing to provide for campers. So if you have any ideas for fundraising, feel free to unmute yourselves and like shout them out, and I can add them in there. Or you can just text us later if you want to with like any of your ideas.
Can I hop in?
Yes.
Yeah.
A point of order. So my girlfriend, she is actually in Camp Jameson. Her dad developed an app called Fun Team, and it's gotten pretty popular. It's a very easy, I can obviously hit her up for more details, but it's a pretty simple, easy, effective fundraising thing, and it's just through text, so it's
perfect.
Not difficult at all.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, we could definitely look into that.
Yeah. I'll ask her for more details, obviously, and I'll share it with y'all, but.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Love the idea. Thank you, sir. So yeah, perfect. So any and all the ideas, we are all ears at this point. So yes.
I had a question on stickers.
Yes.
I know there's like, we've talked about it before, like there's certain like guidelines that's kind of like, I feel like a gray area. So like, as far as like, does it need to say ATC somewhere on that? Does it need to say Woolverton? Like, is there something that needs to say in support of ATC?
I would say make it say in support of ATC, just because you don't know who that sticker is going to, and they don't necessarily always represent ATC's values and stuff. So I would definitely make it say in support of ATC if you're going to put that on there. But yes, good question. Good question. All right. Next up, Emily, I'm going to let you kind of touch on this.
Awesome. Okay, so we talked about this last week. Just kind of a refresher, reminder, because this is coming up kind of soon, pretty soon actually. Evan should be contacting y'all, like very close to now, about this. So again, CPT stands for Child Protective Training, and we go through this training to make sure all of our members are trained on recognizing signs of abuse and neglect, because we do have minors that come to camp. And then background checks are just things that we do to make sure. I'm sorry, my dog is not happy right now. There's a neighbor dog that he hates so much, and they always like growl at each other through the fence when they go out there, and I guess he's out right now. Okay, hi. Bless you. Anyway, but yeah, we run background checks to make sure y'all are all in good standing with the law and things like that. And so Evan should be emailing y'all very soon, and with your CPT training like details, and then an email from Sterling Talent Solutions for the background check. And then CPTs are due, your training is due by Monday, April 6th, and you'll just need to email Evan like the certificate of like completion for that. Does anyone have any questions about all this?
No.
You can.
I do. This was my question from last time. I finally remembered it.
Oh, good.
So I did one of the like background checks through Sterling Talents for another organization.
Okay.
Is that okay? Or do I need to do it again?
It's probably okay because ACC has to pay for all those, so like they cost us money. So
Yeah.
if it's like recent, I would contact Evan and let him know, and then you might be good on that front.
Okay. It was like, I can't remember. It was like November of 2019. So like this year, school year.
I would check with him and see and if you did do it for T Camp 2019, you will have to do it again because it's good for like a year cycle. And so we're coming up on the ending to that year right now. So but I would check with Evan and ask about the one you did in November because I'm not exactly sure, because if you did it for Howdy Camp, then you're good for now.
I have a question.
Yes.
Well, I did mine. I got a job on campus, and I did mine probably February.
Okay. I would check with Evan. I think y'all will be good, but I don't want to like promise you anything in case I'm wrong. So I would definitely check with Evan and make sure. So
Okay.
he'll get you all squared away. And I can drop his email address in our group meet. So y'all can email him with all your questions.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. Anything else? Okay, cool. Okay, summer 2 classes. So registration is coming up again. It's that time of year. If you are taking summer classes, that's totally okay. But we generally recommend taking summer 1 classes if at all possible. Summer 2 classes always fall at camp. Like, since y'all are session 2, it'll probably be during y'all's prep week. But trust me, you do not want to go into prep week taking a summer 2 class. Like, even if it's online, you don't want to do it. Like, it's so draining and like not fun, not something you want to do. It really sucks. Like, I did it for T Camp 2019 when I was a chair, and I really thought I was gonna die. So don't do it. If you do have to take it, if it's like absolutely necessary and you like won't graduate or something, you can take it. We have like a letter we can give you to like give to your professor that like explains like your involvement in camp and like what we do and things like that. However, this like letter so this letter like asks if you could potentially like move your finals like before camp, move it up and things like that. However, it's not a guarantee because camp is not a university excused absence and your professors don't have to work with you. Be awesome if they do, but they don't always. So figuring that out with professors is really important, and the sooner you communicate with your professors, the more likely it is that they will be willing to help. If you like very first day of the semester email them and let them know, they will be much more likely to be like, yeah, okay, I can work with you, than if you email them like the week of finals. So just kind of keeping that in mind. So does anyone have any questions about that?
When is prep week? Like, do we have dates?
Yeah, so hold on, let me look at my calendar. Prep week is gonna always be like the week before session 1. Hold on. And I believe, hold on. I believe session 1 is the 3rd through the 5th, potentially. Yeah, so our prep week starts, so the chairs have to be back in town on July 27th for their refresher, and then we'll have an AC refresher. Usually your chair, well, depending on your chairs, they may ask you to be back that day. It just depends. And then we have our AC refresher, which is mandatory for everyone, on the 28th. So our prep week will go from the 27th to August 2nd, and then session 1 will be the 3rd through the 5th. And y'all will probably be doing activities as a camp throughout that session 1 being at camp as well. So for y'all, it's basically potentially the 27th through the 6th of August. Any other questions? No. Okay. Well, that's all I have for y'all.
I think there was a question in the chat. Someone asked, or I think Terry asked, if they did it for, I might have completely missed this, so I'm sorry if I'm just repeating it. If we did this for T-Camp 2019, do we need to do it again?
Yes, you do. It lasts for like a year cycle, so you will have to do your CPT and background check again. Awesome. Okay.
Thank you, Emily.
You're welcome.
Emily.
All right. So AC Drive. So Emily got y'all added to the AC Google Drive. So that's the All Camp Drive. And if you've gone there and like looked at that, you'll see that there's information on policy, attendance, CPT training. There's a document in there about like where to go to do CPT training. I'm actually going to attach that little document to our recap email that I'm going to send out tomorrow. So that's that information on how to find CPT training, how to do it. The code for it is all going to be in the email tomorrow for you guys as well. But yes. All right.
So here are the lunch buddies. Like I said earlier, it is the same as the skit groups. There's just a couple people added. Writing the skits is just solely up to the counselors. So the extra people added in there, like you can add them if you make like a group me for these lunch buddies. You can go ahead and add them in there, but they won't be helping write the skits. But you can definitely put them in there. And in addition to like the times I'll meet up to write the skits, which I recommend starting this week, even though they're not due for 2 weeks. But you can also go ahead and, in addition to the skit writing, like eat lunch with the extra couple people in there. So, yeah.
And I'll remind y'all, send your pictures in to me so that I can put you on the camp's Insta, because y'all were adorable last week and I got a few pictures and it was really sweet. So some of you are now featured on our camp Insta, which is really cool. So keep up the pictures there. As far as texting buddies this week, you have new texting buddies. I hope your texting buddies last week, I hope that went really well and that y'all learned a lot about each other. And so this week we kind of shuffled them up again. So that is your new texting buddy for the week. Again, we'll be posting this PowerPoint into our drive shortly after this meeting, so you can look back on it if you forget. Yes. Dun, dun, dun.
All right, and here are your final reminders. Remember, you will be getting a recap email Monday morning, which y'all should have all gotten last week. There is a little hidden thing in there that tells us whether or not you read it completely. So only about half of y'all texted us saying, so I know most of y'all probably read it, but just make sure you're reading it very carefully. And then, like we said, try to schedule to meet with your lunch buddies this week. Don't forget about your texting buddies. Super important to get to know each other. And then there's a list of your deadlines. Banner ideas are due Saturday, April 4th. That's your like banner design ideas. Saturday, April 4th by midnight. And then CPT deadline is Monday, April 6th. And then your first round of skits are due Saturday, April 11th by 11:59 in the drive. And those are all the deadlines we have for y'all at the moment. So it's only 3 things. You don't have to stress too much. Like that's the main things you need to be focusing on. It's everything we have right here.
Yeah. And I will stress again, like especially with like banner ideas and like skit writing, don't be afraid to reach out to experienced teamers. Obviously Robbie and I, as well as like our liaison and our campfire speakers, because we've all been there before. We kind of know what skit writing is all about, and we'd be happy to like kind of point you in the right direction on how that goes. But yes. So that is like all the information we have for you today. I am going to stop recording this. Now let me see. Chat. For real. Oh, for real. Love writing skits. There we go. Annalise. Love it. Love it. So I'm going to stop recording this now. And then I'm going to let y'all free for all it. Stop video. How do I do this? Okay. Continue.